All right, so Madrid Open is in full swing. The WTA's rocking already, and the ATP has just started. So here's my breakdown of the ATP Draw in Madrid. We got Djokovic back in action after gaining some momentum in Serbia. We got Nadal back from his rib injury. We're going to see how he's playing. And then we got Carlos Alcaraz coming off of being absolutely red-hot fire in Barcelona, along with Stefanos Tsitsipas after winning in Monte Carlo. So there's 4 top guys who I can see winning this title. And the big question for me is, who needs Madrid more, Nadal or Djokovic, as far as momentum going into Roland Garros? So we're going to get into these questions and others into this draw at Madrid. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the slice.
All right, so we're back. Welcome, people. How are you? I was away this weekend, taking a little vacay, and watching the action here in Madrid get rolling. And the draw is awesome because we got Nadal and Djokovic in it. But there's just so much intrigue to me to see what's Alcaraz going to do. It seems like he's almost the number 1 player on the tour right now. It's like he beat Stefanos again in Barcelona, so he's like the hottest clay court player, it seems. Nadal's question mark coming back from injury. Djokovic still doesn't have the form and the fitness that he would like. So it's just so much to look at here. So the top 4 seeds are Djokovic, Zverev, Nadal, and then Tsitsipas. But Zverev got crushed by a friend of the show, Holger Rune, who just won his first title in Munich. So Zverev, I don't even think is a top 4 contender at Madrid. So my top 4 contenders right now, not in any order, because I really don't know. But the top 4 guys to me are Djokovic, Nadal, Tsitsipas, and Alcaraz. Carlitos Alcaraz. I think I got that one right that time. But to me, is there any other 4 players that are more likely to win this title than those 4? Maybe Zverev can surprise us, find his form again, but he's had a terrible 2022. So those are the 4 guys whose runs to the final I'm going to be taking a look at after a quick word from our sponsor, Go Sport. Go Sport makes the best tennis bags in the world. They're black, they're stylish, they even got other backpacks that I'd like to take around just for normal purposes. Amazing premium quality bags, and you can get 10% off only here by using our link below. Thank you for supporting the show by also subscribing, liking this video. If the only thing you can do today is like this video, that's amazing. And joining our channel for behind the scenes videos from me on Europass for extra support. Thank you guys so much. Let's look at the potential quarterfinals with the top 8 seeds. It never turns out like this, but it kind of just gives us a look at where different players are in the draw. So we got Djokovic on the top, obviously number 1 seed versus Ruud potentially in the quarterfinals. That would be interesting. Clay court, hard court, dirt baller in Ruud versus Djokovic, who's trying to get back into form. Alcaraz versus Nadal in the next quarterfinal. If that were to happen, would things have changed since Indian Wells when they played? Nadal was unflapped at that point. Alcaraz wasn't, hadn't won Miami and Barcelona, so jeepers, that would be crazy. You got to think, would Alcaraz be the favorite in that matchup? Crazy to say when it's Nadal and Clay, but it's 2022 now. Rublev versus Tsitsipas in the third quarter there. That's always an intriguing matchup for sure. And then we got FAA versus Zverev on the bottom. 2 guys who are really out of form, holding on to a great ranking position, obviously, but so far in clay have not been able to produce anywhere near the level that they want to play. So that's kind of a bracket. That's interesting to me that 3 of the top 4 contenders in my mind are on the top half, Djokovic, Nadal, and Carlitos Alcaraz. So we'll see who comes out of there, and that's going to be tricky for all 3 of them. Like, least tricky, though, for Alcaraz. I feel like I have so much confidence in him getting to at least the quarterfinals. I don't see him having another slip up like he did in Monte Carlo early. But again, he's 18, so it would totally make sense if he does, but he keeps surprising us. That's the thing. So let's look at the 4 routes to the final for the 4 top contenders. Djokovic route, to play Monfils in second round. Shapovalov in round 3. Tough. 2 tough first matches for Djokovic if they are to happen. And then in the quarterfinal, you can play Casper Ruud, or Hurkacz potentially. Also very tough. Semifinals, Nadal or Alcaraz, and finals, probably Tsitsipas. So, honestly, if Djokovic, I'm going to talk about this more at the end, but if Djokovic were to come through that route to the final and win, massive statement. It'd be like Djokovic is back. He's a favorite going into Roland Garros, in my opinion. Like that would be. I do not expect him to win this tournament. Let's just say that right now. That is an incredibly tough draw if it's to fall that way. But obviously he could do it. But it's not as simple as it has been in the past, where it's like if Djokovic plays his best, he's going to win that. There's a lot of hurdles for him to jump over there, and it's going to be a really, really tough test. Nadal's route, second round, potentially Kecmanovic or Bublik if Bublik takes out Kecmanovic. Kecmanovic is a very tough opponent. He's played a great 2022 so far, and he could be a real test early for Nadal here in Madrid. And then in the third round, he could play Pablo Carreño Busta in the third round, and then, like I said, Alcaraz in the quarterfinal, which would be a huge test for Nadal. And just an amazing match for tennis fans to watch. Not going to overhype it after what we saw in Monte Carlo, but could be an amazing match. Djokovic in the semifinals for Nadal probably, or Ruud. And then in the finals it would be Tsitsipas. So again, hard draw for Nadal as well. Much harder because he's coming back from injury and we don't know where his rest level is at. But if he's got no injury, based on what we've seen so far in 2022, it's like he should be the favorite in this tournament, because of how amazing he is on clay and how good he's actually played in 2022 outside of the rib injury. So, big question mark. Again, Tsitsipas' route. Second round, Khachanov. Third round, Schwartzman. Quarterfinals, Rublev. Semifinals, Zverev. And then in the finals, Djokovic and Nadal. It's a fairly tough route, but for him, if he's playing really good, I see him coming through there. Khachanov should come through. Schwartzman, rematch of their Monte Carlo epic craziness. These courts are a little bit quicker here in Madrid, so we'll have to see. He's going to have, he can't be serving poorly and be on the back foot against a guy like Khachanov. But against Schwartzman, I see him doing well, fastballing him a bit on the clay. And against Rublev is going to be tough. He just won the Serbia Open. Let's not overlook Rublev. Been great on the clay, and it's a fast service, so that actually could be a danger quarterfinal for Tsitsipas for sure. But he's on the bottom half of the draw, outside of the other top three contenders, so I think he's got a pretty good chance of getting deep here. Time can only tell, though. That's why we watch. That's why they play the game, as they would say. Djokovic or Nadal in the final for him, so obviously that could be tough, but honestly, with the way he's playing and his youth and his prowess on the clay surface, he could be a favorite against either of those guys. But if those guys make the final, a lot of momentum. Carlitos Alcaraz, route to the final. Second round, Fognini. Third round, Norrie or Isner. Quarterfinals, Nadal. Semifinals, Djokovic. Finals, Tsitsipas. So, tough route for him, but he's playing. Carlos continues to play with house money. Like, no one expects him to win these tournaments, and he gets to play without the weight of expectation, I think, so far. Because I don't see him playing that. He can get tight. He can, start spraying balls, but he just does it for such little spurts of time if that is to happen. Like when he beat Tsitsipas in Barcelona, after he was up, then Tsitsipas came back on the second set. In that second set, he started to look a little rattled, but then he just got it back. Like he just got it back so quick, 18 years old, still doesn't make sense. So it's crazy. So the big storylines for me, who needs Madrid more? Who needs a good result in Madrid? Djokovic or Nadal? To me, it's like almost Djokovic, because going into the French Open, if Nadal's injury is fine, he's going to ramp up and he's going to be great for the French Open. Like I said, he's played great in 2022. Who hasn't played at all really in 2022 or great in 2022 is Djokovic. He's started to get some good momentum there in Serbia. That was great until the final. Ran out of gas again, which is a bit disturbing, especially coming into the 5-set, at the Roland Garros. But if he can get a good result here, that's going to set him up well for Rome and then to build confidence into Roland Garros. My question is, so neither of them need a title here. I don't think they could, getting to semifinals, making the final would be a great result and a motivating result. Not where in the past where it's like, oh, Nadal didn't win every single title going into Roland Garros. Is he still the favorite? It's like, yeah, he was the favorite. He won them all basically. So, but if either of them were to lose before the quarterfinal, I think that would cast some serious doubt on their chances at Roland Garros and then put a lot of pressure on them in Rome. You know what I mean? So I think even more for Djokovic. If he was to lose second match to Shapovalov or something like that, it'd be scary territory for no-lay fans. But that's all to be seen. Alcaraz and Tsitsipas know they can win this tournament, and they're eager to prove it, I'm sure. And they, based on the results, based on what they've been able to do, especially Tsitsipas, he knows he can do this. And I think now he just wants to show that he's the man on clay. Carlos wants to show that he can beat anyone on tour, like he's basically shown. So those two guys are absolutely gunning for it. And those are my top four: Nadal, Djokovic, Tsitsipas, and Alcaraz. Those are the top four contenders in my mind. Who are in your mind the top contenders? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the draw, everything Madrid related. Thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe, like. And folks, we'll see you on the next episode of The Slice. Take care.